Hi, this is Math 2019 question 1E, and for this question they want to know which of these statements is true for the graph of this equation. Okay, so I do think this question looks kind of crazy because you have an equation with lots of trig and different powers and x's and y's all mixed up together, but it is possible to do it, and you have everything that you need to be able to do it. You just need to believe in yourself. So first of all, let's think what is meant by the graph of this equation, because it's not something you can really easily imagine plotting, right? But if we were to plot it, what we'd want would be to find all of the points x, y, which satisfies this equation. So what we need to do is find sets of points which are solutions to this equation. And if you have no other ideas for what to do, you can always just try some numbers and see what happens, right? So what values of x and y can we pick? Well, it's always best to keep things as simple as possible, right? So why not just x and y both equal to 0? So what does that give us? Well, sine of 0 is 0, so that gives sine y and sine x both equal to 0. And cos of 0 is 1, so square that is still 1, which means that cos squared x is 1 and cos y squared is also 1. And what does that give us? Well, we have 0 minus 0, which is just 0, and 1 minus 0 is also 0. Sorry, 1 minus 1 is also 0. So we can see that x equals 0 and y equals 0 does give us a solution. So we know that A must be wrong, so if nothing else, we've improved our chances of guessing the answer correctly. And maybe that example has given you a bit of a clue of how this question is actually solved. So because we had x and y both being the same number, both of these terms on the left-hand side were the same, and both of these terms on the right-hand side were the same. So having x equals y leaves us in a situation like this, where we have 0 on the left-hand side, and also 0 on the right-hand side. So we can see that any point satisfying x equals y is a solution. And what does the graph of x equals y or y equals x look like? Well, that's just a straight line, right? So we can rule out B as well. And we are once again improving our chances of guessing correctly. So we found one straight line solution. The question is, are there any more? Well, think about what the graphs of cos and sine look like. They're repeating patterns, right? They repeat every 360 degrees. So we have that sine of x is equal to sine of x plus 360 equal to sine of x plus 720 equals sine of x plus whatever 3 times 360 is, and so on. And similarly for cos x, and consequently that will also be true for cos squared x. So if what we wanted was for the left-hand side and the right-hand side to both be equal to 0, we don't need x to be equal to y. We could also have x plus 360 equal to y, or x plus 720 being equal to y. So for example, if x plus 360 was equal to y, then the equation would look like this, and we've just said that this is equal to this and this is equal to this, so that both sides are 0. So we can see we have a solution when y is equal to x plus any multiple of 360 degrees, and all of the solutions of this type are straight lines. So actually, the graph for this equation will have infinitely many straight lines, and the answer is E.